Yeah, 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 yeah. In the sun we're planting dreams, digging deep in earth's rich seams. In the laughing, sharing joy, in the feel-good garden, our sweet glory. Nature's love we intertwine.
Hello, I'm Linda, and this here is our plot 1 of the Feel Good garden. Over there we've got plot 2. Lots happening today, starting with got a little bit of harvesting to do, and what I wasn't expecting to do today, but I'm going to be doing it anyway. And we've got a bit of December tidying up to do on the garden, and as you do this time of year. And also some work in the polytunnel, some little things that we need to do in the polytunnel. And I'll be showing you a few things along the way. So stay tuned and come along. In this bed here, we've got some oca. Now, I didn't plant any oca near this year. In fact, I had broad beans growing in there. But once all the broad beans came out, this oca started growing. So it was where I had the oca last year. I thought I'd dig it all out, but I obviously hadn't. Anyway, it grew beautiful. So I'm dying to see now what's underneath, because it's all, the frost has had it and it's all died back. So I've got a borage plant here as well. So I'll pull that up first, and then I'll dig up the oca. Fingers crossed, we might have some oca underneath there. We'll have a look. It's a shame really I didn't pick some of the leaves, because all of the oca plant is edible, and the leaves, I quite like the taste of them. They're great salads. They taste quite lemony, but too late now. Frost have had it. So first of all though, I need to move these bamboo canes. They're where I took the beans down, which you'll have seen in my last video. So I'm going to move those out of the way now. I'm going to put them at the side of the polytunnel. They will eventually be going in the polytunnel to overwinter, but for quickness now, because they do need to sort into different lengths, I'll put them at the side of the polytunnel, and then I'll get on with digging up the oca. Let's remove this borage plant first. I can go on the compost heap. Ah, there we are. That's not bad at all. That's just as good, if not better, than last year's haul. And I planted those on purpose, so pleased with that. There's quite a few there. Some of them have started to be eaten, so I'm glad I'm picking them now really. Otherwise they wouldn't last very long in the ground.
Strolling through the garden, sunshine on my face, colors all around me, it's a healing place. Flowers full of laughter, dancing in the breeze, nature's sweet embrace puts my mind at ease. Oh, it's a paradise, feels so right, planting seeds of joy with all my might. Let the flowers sing, let the sunshine play in this garden.
Well, that's a nice haul of oca, especially a nice surprise harvest, because I wasn't expecting anything really under there. I didn't plant them, like I said, they just must have been little ones that were left in the ground from last year, so that was a nice surprise. And not only that, now the bed is all prepared, ready for the brassicas to go in that I've been sowing and potting on in the polytunnel. So we'll have a look at those in a minute, but we do need to line this bed and put some bloodfish and bone, but I might leave that for another day. Let's go and have a look and see how the brassicas are getting on in the polytunnel. I don't think they're anywhere near ready for planting out yet. That's why I'm in no rush to put the lime with the bloodfish and bone in this bed. So there's a Calabrese broccoli. I planted that, I sowed it actually on October the 1st. So it's coming along, but nowhere near ready to plant out yet. I want plants bigger than that. And this here are our cabbages. They're the Consulate F1 cabbages. Again, I sowed those on October the 1st. So they're coming, but they're quite slow. So we leave them in here to get a bit bigger before we plant them out. So I've got my oca, and I thought I'd dig up some spring onions to go with it, and I'd get some chillies as well, and might even get some pea shoots while I'm at it. Now these are half pulled up from the last time, so I think I'll get these and a few more. I planted these spring onions and they started to bulb up like ordinary onions, and I thought, oh, I thought they were spring onions. And anyway, after a while, they seem to start separating and go into little bunches. And they're ideal, perfect really. So I can't remember what variety they was. There's no label. So I'll have to look into that for again. I'm on my way to the polytunnel and I thought, well, why don't I pick another kohlrabi? That'll go with it as well. Oh yeah, that'll do. I only need the one. So I'll just pick a few pea shoots now. I don't need many. And then I'll leave them to grow on. Right. That's about as much as I can pick off there. I think I need to let them grow for a bit now. I don't need many of these chilies really, because they are quite hot. I'll just pick enough for today, and then I can pick some more to freeze another day. So that's not a bad little harvest for December. This week is our last green bin collection. So I thought I'd get rid of all the twiggy bits from the allotment, things that won't break down easily, such as these sunflower stems. So they've been stuck in the ground ever since they finished. And I thought it was about time I took them out now and took them home to go in the green bin. So I'll pull out what I can and break it down, put them in some old used compost bags, take them home. Right, so I got my secateurs for things I can't pull out so easily, but I will try and pull them out where I can. So I'll try and get as much soil off them as I can. Make the bags lighter when I'm carrying them home. Oh, well, that's a good start in there. So there's one anyway. It's very rewarding tidying up your plot, and I can't wait to see this area nice and tidy. I did the beans in last week's video. They were just by there, and I'm still wondering what to do with that area where the bean archway came down. So we've had a few ideas, so thanks very much for those. So I'm still undecided. I got an idea of my own, but I'm not sure whether it'll work yet. And I've had to consult with Doug. He's not sure it's a good idea, so I'm still thinking on that one. In that wheelbarrow by there. I've still got the strawberry plants to take out and take over onto plot 1. So that's another job. Whether I get it done today or not remains to be seen. It's been waiting weeks now and I still haven't done it. Oh. Now, I don't think this sunflower is going to be so easy to break. The end, yes, but further down it's so thick. I got my secateurs, but I don't think the secateurs are going to do it. I'll just have to flex my muscles. Oh, there we are. You never know. I might get there now. I thought I'll just put it in a pile and I'll put it all in a bag together. It'll be easier that way. I've also got these verbena. There's some verbena here. They've all gone to seed, so they need cutting back as well to make them look a bit tidier. Looking a bit scraggy at the moment. Oh, strawberry plant on there. Right, any more that's easy to take out. There's still plenty of weeding to do on this plot, but I'm not worried about that because that can go on the compost heap here anyway. It's just the twiggy things I need to remove for today. So that's that one. So a couple down there. So I'll work my way down there. Do you know what? You keep putting these jobs off, don't you? And when you come to do them, they don't take long at all, do they? And it makes you wonder why you kept putting it off. Oh God. Look at the root system on that. Oh God. I'll have to get the soil off it though. It's far too heavy to put in a bag. Oh. Right, let's see if I can break the stem on this. Oh, there we are. Not too bad. Oh. Oh. I think I'm going to have to take it like that. I can't get much more soil off that. Oh. Well, I've been around the plot and I've got 4 bags altogether to take home. Next is this verbena to cut back. It did look pretty in the summer in flower with all its little purple flowers, but it's hanging over the pathway now and gone really scraggy, so it needs a good prune, and I'll pull up any weeds as I find them along the way as well. Right, I'll start at the bottom here. I'm not being fussy with it at all. It'll soon grow back next year with completely new growth coming from the base.
In the garden where the leaves fall down, we gather round to clean up this town. With rakes and shovels, we work side by side, tend to our roots where our joys abide. The whispers of the wind, they guide our hands, preparing in the earth.
Well, it's not perfect, but certainly a lot better than it was. I've had a delivery from Amazon And it's these grow bag trays. They're really useful. I bought 2 in the garden centre when I went with Danny and Cheryl once. And they really came into their own. They were great when we were on our summer holidays because I had them at home with some pots in and water in the bottom so that I could keep my plants going while we were on holiday. So I brought them back down here now and I've got them on the staging, so I thought I'd order some more. Now you can buy them in garden centres and places like that. Most places sell them, but I got these from Amazon because I'm not visiting any garden centres. Not planning to yet, so I thought, oh, I need them as soon as possible to go on the staging. I need another 1 or 2 here and some more to go on there. I wasn't sure how many would fit on there. So anyway, I got a pack of 5 and I think they were about £26, I think, for the 5, which I don't think is too bad because they're nice rigid ones and it's a one-off payment, isn't it? And because they're going to last years now. They're nice strong ones. So it'll help to keep the wood dry when I'm watering my plants and stop it rotting. So it'll keep the wood tidy for a lot longer. So there they are. They're nice big trays. So I'm not sure how many they'll fit. I think I would only get 2 if I put them that way. But I thought if I put them that way, even though they hang over a bit, I wonder if I'll get 3 there. Let's have a look. So we got 1 there, 1 there. Oh, I don't think we're going to get 3 on there, are we? No, it won't quite take 3 on there. But I do need another 2 for there. And always handy to have a spare one anyway. So, because I could put it at the back. No, it'll be handy as a spare anyway to take home. So I'll just turn those around the other way. And there we are. Perfect fit. Apart from the little bit at the bottom. Danny brought these fig tree cuttings over a few days ago and I've popped them in water ready for when I'm going to pop them on. And what I've done, I've got a pot here and I filled it with compost and I've used my dibber and I've made 6 holes for the 6 cuttings. So where they've been in the water, and Danny's cut them and he's allowed a little bit for me to chop off a little bit more because where they've been cut, they could seal at the end. And we don't want that. You know, we want them to root from the bottom and they may also send out some roots from the leaf node. So I'll show you what I'm doing. I'll bring you a bit nearer. Right, so here's the cuttings. Now Danny's allowed a little bit to cut off at the end there, or you could cut off it at the next leaf joint by there. So I'll try it there first and see how it fits in the pot. So I'm just cutting right underneath the leaf node by there. They could do with sharpening. So there we are. As you can see, there's more of a raw edge there now. So I'll pop that in there. Now will I cut it off? No, I'm going to take it down to the next one. So I'm just cutting just underneath the leaf node there. As you can see, there we are. That looks nice and healthy anyway. And I'll pop that in there. And I'll do the same with the others. Just cutting into the next one up. Now that one isn't, if I cut there, it's not going to be as long. So I just cut underneath where Danny's already cut, because that does look nice and healthy there anyway. That one can be cut underneath, just underneath there. And that one I'll cut just underneath where Danny cut it. Yeah, as long as it looks nice and healthy like that, and you can see it's still alive, that should be fine. So I'll push the compost around and then I'll just top it up so that it's covering the next leaf node up there. as many leaf nodes as possible, because you can get some roots from there. So just pop some more compost on there, like that. And then I'll give it a little bit of a water. And that can be left now all through the winter, and hopefully we'll have some new growth in the springtime. There we are. It's another little job done now. I'll stand that a bit more upright. And then push that there. So, in fact, I'll twist that one around so they're not crossing each other. And the same with that one there. Give them a bit of a chance. Oh yeah, that should do the trick now. So we'll wait till springtime. Hopefully we'll have at least one of those that'll take. But you can see there's some nice bits of greenery on the tips there. That one has lost it, but hopefully it'll come back. And there's greenery on the tip there as well. Now this is a nice easy job. I've got a Gora plant here. This one hasn't flowered, but I do have a few that did flower in the summertime. And it's a perennial plant that I grew from seed. And it's got plenty of roots on there. It just needs potting on now. And it's gone quite leggy, so I thought I'd pop it in a tall plant pot. In fact, I'll take some of that compost out there. There's a bit of compost in the bottom, so I've still left a little bit in the bottom there. So I'm just going to pop that in now so that I can cover most of the stem, and we will get some more roots coming out from the leaf joints. And at least it's not quite as leggy now. There we are, we pop a bit more on there. Big lump of compost, there we are, soon breaks down. That's looking much better, a lot less leggy. And we should get some new root growths from those leaf nodes. There we are, we'll just give it a little bit of a water now, and hopefully that'll overwinter okay. It may lose some of its leaves now through the winter and the cold weather, but hopefully it'll come back okay and then can be planted out as soon as there's plenty of roots on there in the springtime. I bought these little pots in a store called B&M, our local store, and it comes as 32 of these little square pots, and they come in a tray, which is really handy, so you can move them about where you want them. So I've already filled them in compost, and I've made a hole with my dibber because I'm going to pot on these parsley seedlings. Now I sowed these the 1st of October. They've been very, very slow to germinate and grow because of cold weather. But some of them now are starting to have their second leaves. So now's the time to start potting them on. Granted, some of them haven't got second leaves yet, but I'm going to pot those on anyway. I noticed that amongst them, it looks like a brassica. It looks nothing like the parsley. So we'll pot that one on as well and keep it separate with the other plants. I think it could possibly be it's either a cabbage or it's a broccoli, one of the two. And I noticed that one has died off. This is a Calabrese broccoli. That one's died off a bit. So I'll pop it in that pot. But being as I don't know what it is, I won't put it with the broccoli or the cabbage. I might be a bit disappointed if I get one or the other. But we soon get to know when it starts growing. Right. I've taken my gloves off for this because it's a bit of a delicate operation. So I'll bring you in a bit nearer. Right then, so if we do that brassica first, get that out of the way. I'm using a plant label to take this out. I'm trying to be very careful with it because it seems to be well rooted. I don't really want to damage the stem, because if you damage the stem, then it's not going to be any good. Now, the holes I've made in these pots. They could possibly be too big, so I'll judge that as I go along. So I'm pricing them up out with a plant label. There we are. So just the right time to pop these on. Just the right time now. So that should fit perfect in that hole. And it does. There we are. So I've already put the plant label in one of the pots. And so it should be okay. So we'll know, just to remind us what they are. Because we soon forget, don't we? Oops. No, I don't normally start from the middle, but there you go. Right. Now, always best, especially if they've only got the 2 leaves, it's always best to hold it at the leaves because, like I said, once you snap the stem, then the plant is no good. Right, perhaps I should start at the edge. It would make life a little bit easier.
Oh, no, no. In the soil I dig with my hands, feeling the earth, planting seeds of joy, giving each bloom its worth. Sunshine on my back, there's magic in the air. With every flower grown, I spread love everywhere.
Well, that's another little job done now for the winter, and one less for the springtime. Regarding naming Feel Good Garden Plot 2, instead of calling it Plot 2, I did ask in my last video for some suggestions on what to call Plot 2, and I've had some really good ones. And we're coming close now to naming Plot 2. So keep your suggestions coming in, because in my next video, I will be selecting one of those suggestions and we'll be naming Plot 2. So watch out for my next video next week. But in the meantime, thanks for watching.